Okay, how are you guys? So look, I know some of you have been having issues with this logo, alright? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go through it with you. So you should have all your measurements, you should be able to see them on the Google Classroom link I sent you. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do with this is I have my 90-degree axes drawn there. And I'm going to start with the ellipse in the middle because that's going to take the most amount of detail. We can draw circles around the outside. I know you're all okay with that. It's this ellipse in the middle with the telephone. Seems to be what's catching me. So first things first, you see that ellipse there goes off at 45 degrees for the major axis. And then the minor axis is here, going along at 45 degrees the other way. So we'll set that one up. So using your 45 degree set squares. Now again, my lines on this sheet are going to be a lot heavier than what I expect you to have because just the camera struggles with picking up the light lines. Okay, so I've got a little star there in the middle of the page. Now, my major axis is 100, so measure out 50 from each side. Now remember, these are all construction lines, so you'll be doing all of these light. Okay, so I can draw my major circle in there at the moment. Alright, and you're also given the position of the focal point, so F1 and F2, so they're 40 out from that centre line there. So measure those focal points out as well. So that's here and here. So F1, F2. Right, now this is the bit that's catching all of you. I told you before that if you were trying to find your focal points on an ellipse, what you'd do is you'd measure your half of your major axis, you'd put your compass up on the top of wherever your minor circle is, and you'd swing an arc, and where that hits your major axis then gives you the focal points. What we're doing for this one is we're actually working in reverse. So if I measure my major axis like that, if I swing an arc from my focal point where that crosses my minor axis there, that'll give me the radius of my minor axis. So I can measure that. Okay, so my major and minor circles are found there. Now, so you have your 30-60, break it down. You all know how to do that. Alright, now it's going to be very important that you follow your lines on this very easily. So I'm just going to do it between the major circle so I'll be able to follow them. Okay. Right, do this, and then I'd have one more there as well. Okay, so look, this one I did say to you on Google Classroom, this was absolutely going to be a challenging question. You haven't done anything with this many lines, and at the moment that does look very, very complicated. Right, so what do we do? Same thing we always do. Find our ellipses. We drop our lines down from our 60 degrees. So we'll drop our lines down there from our 60s. So just like that. So that's the lines down from all my 60 degrees. And then what I can do is I can bring them horizontally across as well from the minor circle. So there and there, this one and this one. this one here, and then last but not least that one and that one. Okay, so now we have all of our points found, so we can actually draw on an ellipse, and we know that the end of our major circle there is another point. So if we look at our drawing again, we only need to draw, we don't need to draw the entire ellipse out here. I'm going to draw a portion of it there and see what I can do with the rest then. Alright, so starting here, again, never start on the sharp point because you'll miss your curve a bit. And there are no points in the ellipse, they're all curves. So I shouldn't see any corners forming. Down to my minor circle. Bring that out. Okay, so take your time guys and try to get this right. Okay, so that's the portion of my ellipse drawn there, and if I wanted to finish it I can. But again, as I said, there's no need to. Alright, so ellipse found there, and then we need to start looking at the smaller details in this. So we'll just focus that there. So they've told you that 10 millimeters up from your major axis there will give you this point, and that point also sits on the length of the focal line. Alright, and I'd imagine then this is actually a 30-degree line down here. Oh, no it's not. Look at this. It's where your focal point comes up and hits the ellipse there. So they're the 2 points I'm going to look for at the moment. And where is this point then? We'll find that point in a second. Right. So where my F2, so that's where my ellipse stops there. So I can put that in heavy. Alright. Sorry now. So up from F2 to where it hits ellipse, and then the other one, now these are all parallel to my minor axis at the moment, is up from F1. Okay, and it was 10 millimeters up there then. So measure the 10 millimeters here. So that point there is this point here. Okay. Now, this part here. So have they given us measurements for that yet? Oh, I can do a radius of 40. I can draw that inner curve. Set my compass to 40. And starting at the top of the ellipse. So they told you radius starts from here. I can draw that section there and there a bit. Okay. I can join from, where did they give me that information there? From here out to where that touches, that's fine. I can draw that bit in there lightly as well. Okay. Now, so this little bit of information here, so they actually give me a measurement for this. I'm going to lie to you guys, I don't see one. Nope, they have. Okay, so 40 out from here. See the way that 40 there also lines up in here? So the 40 from the opening for the WhatsApp logo at the end. Or if you follow that up, that's the measurement in there. So we can measure out 20 and 20 on both sides. That and that point. Okay. Now that line there and that line there. Now you can see if you kept your construction lines light from the beginning, this would be a little bit easier to follow. I'll pull you down a little bit closer as well. Okay, so these are my 40 lines there. And then I need to measure straight out from here to where that hits the point that I've drawn there. So if I measure out from here, now what I have then is a line, and where that line touches the 40 division we put there, that's where it stops. And then that can go back, yeah. So then this is parallel here. So I bring that point across where that touches my ellipse. That comes back to there. So look, with these videos guys, if you're struggling to follow, down here in the settings section on YouTube, you can slow the video down if you're struggling to see where I'm getting points from. Alright, I'll re-watch this video a few times because that little bit of detail there is a little bit tricky. Okay, now, so then this line from that point, so from this point goes down to where it hits the curve that we drew in a minute ago, the radius of 40, and that's that top section of the phone done in there. Right, this back section then, so I have this point here, I've drawn my line across, and that's that point there is this point here. So I connected from where the F2 comes up and hits the ellipse, brought that back to the center, and where that hits my 40 width, that's the point I need to pay attention to now. So again, bring that back to where it hits the curve, and then that's the phone done. Alright, now I'm just going to freehand in here, just make it a little bit heavier for the camera so you guys can see it. So that's that part. Didn't need all that extra curve, so I'm just going to lighten up these lines a bit. Now don't get rid of them, we still need to see your construction lines. Okay. And I'm just going to put this in a little bit heavier as well, just so you can see it on the camera guys. Okay, so there's your phone in the middle, that's fine. Now, finish this off, the rest of this should be pretty easy. Okay, so we have a diameter here of 130, so we're going to do that one. So 65 will be our radius. So going from the center there, make sure you find the center you were using at the very, very start. You've been swinging that around. And I'm putting this just in that little bit heavy around the top half because that's going to be kept for the entire drawing. Okay, but I'm leaving it light down here for a minute. I'll show you why in a second. And the other radius, or the other diameter then, is 160 at the top of the big circle. And here. We'll go to 80 here. I can draw that circle in too. Okay, and again I can put a heavier out here, because I know that's not going to change. Now, there's one last little bit of information we need to fix, and that's the point down here. So where these lips come out. Now, so what you have is you're given 28 here. You're given that it goes out 25 and 25, and the entire width is 40. Now we already have those 40 lines drawn in, so we're just going to extend those out from up here. Make sure we're going to bring them down properly now. So line it up with your axis. Bring those lines out. Okay. And we know that from the point where the circle is, so down here on the smaller circle now, of the outside of the logo, it goes out 25 and 25. So I can measure out along my line 50. There's 25 there and 25 there. So for the big circle, we have our 40 line. That's going to go back to the 40. And I can finish putting in that circle nice and heavy. Alright, and the last bit then is that this here comes out 25 and it has a width of 28. So half 28, 14. So we'll measure out 14 on both sides of this line. And 28. You'll bring those down then to where they hit that smaller circle. And fill that in as well. Okay, so look, I do get this is a little bit harder than what I've been asking you to do all along. Alright, that's why you're only getting this one big question for this week. I'm not going to give you any more for over the weekend or anything like that. Okay, and that's why I gave it to you on Wednesday, so you'll have time to think about it. So take your time. Really do focus to the detail here and where everything links on. Right, and you should be fine. If you have issues, guys, as always, send me an email. Please make sure you submit your work onto Google Classroom. For this one, I'm going to say don't colour it in, just so I can see where all your lines are coming from, and make sure that the picture you send me is as good a quality as you can get on whatever phone or device you have. Alright, good luck with that, lads.